The ever-present demonstrators over the road from the United Nations. On this day, the majority appear to have Iran as the focus of protest. In the chamber of the General Assembly, the Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad makes his way to the podium. A number of UN members absent from the start. In the speech, an impassioned attack on Israel and on those nations that support it.
How can the crimes of the occupiers against defenseless women and children and destruction of their homes, farms, hospitals, and schools be supported unconditionally by certain governments?
And as large numbers of delegates walked out in protest, criticism too of outside military involvement in countries like Iraq and Afghanistan. Yet at the end of his speech in a half-empty chamber, there had still been no reference to Iran's nuclear program, either in explanation or defense. Earlier in the day, the issue of nuclear disarmament was part of a wide-ranging speech by the President of the United States. And he made the demand that North Korea and Iran in particular open up their nuclear programs to international inspectors.
We respect their rights as members of the community of nations. I have said before, and I will repeat, I am committed to diplomacy that opens a path to greater prosperity and more secure peace for both nations if they live up to their obligations. But if the governments of Iran and North Korea choose to ignore international standards, if they put the pursuit of nuclear weapons ahead of regional stability and the security and opportunity of their own people, if they are oblivious to the dangers of escalating nuclear arms races in both East Asia and the Middle East, then they must be held accountable.
Shortly afterwards, the US President held talks with his Russian counterpart, Dmitry Medvedev, and an indication that there may be a shift in that country's refusal to support new sanctions against Iran.
As to all sorts of sanctions, Russia's position has always been clear. Sanctions rarely lead to productive results, but in some cases, sanctions are inevitable.
In the evening, a closed-door meeting among those due to hold nuclear talks with Iran next month, and a statement released expressing the hope that the Iranian response will be serious. But before that, in the next 24 hours, a gathering of the UN Security Council, chaired for the first time ever by a US president. On the agenda, the issue of nuclear disarmament. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, New York.